When it was commissioned in 1994, the nuclear submarine K-141 Kursk was one of the most powerful assets of the Russian Navy. The size of two jumbo jets, it was considered impenetrable, indestructible, a deadly predator lurking beneath the surface. In August 2000, for its crew, the mammoth attack sub became nothing more than a steel coffin lying on the bottom of the sea, with no way to escape. In this video, we'll be doing a deep dive into what really happened that day, so stick around till the end. On August 10, 2000, the Kursk, a mighty hunter armed to the teeth with cruise missiles and torpedoes, joins the Summer X exercise, a naval spectacle not seen in over a decade. But here's the twist. This wasn't your average naval exercise. This was a showcase of Russia's naval prowess, featuring the colossal Admiral Kuznetsov, the formidable Pyotr Veliky, and a fleet that would make anyone's jaw drop. Newly elected President Vladimir Putin had a point to prove, and the Kursk was at the forefront. As the morning of August 12th dawned, the Kursk, assigned to attack the Pyotr Veliky with dummy torpedoes, remained eerily silent. The stage was set for a triumph, or so everyone thought. Little did they know they were about to witness the country's worst post-Soviet naval disaster unfold before their eyes. Imagine the disbelief when the Kursk, a submarine designed to be unmatched, vanishes without a trace. Project 949A Ante, or Oscar II as NATO knew it, was no ordinary sub. Built by the Soviet Union's Central Design Bureau Rubin, the Kursk's sheer size was mind-boggling. From its keel laid in Severodvinsk port in 1992 to its launch in 1994, the Kursk stood as a symbol of Soviet victory. Let the numbers sink in: 154 meters long, 18.2 meters wide, and a displacement of 24,000 tons when submerged. It wasn't just big, it was colossal. Two nuclear reactors, each with a whopping 190 megawatts, powered this underwater behemoth, propelling it with a combined 98,000 horsepower. And the arsenal? Armed with 24 P-700 Granite cruise missiles and a stash of 28 torpedoes or anti-submarine missiles, the Kursk was a force to be reckoned with. There's more. The submarine had 10 watertight compartments and double-hull construction, with steel plates and rubber providing an impenetrable shield. The construction of the Kursk was nothing short of extraordinary, with designers boldly claiming it could withstand a direct hit from a torpedo. Little did they know that on that fateful day, August 12, 2000, the sinking of the Kursk would unfold in a manner beyond the imagination of both the crew and the submarine constructors. As the day began, there was not a whisper of tragedy in the air. On the contrary, the crew of the K-141 Kursk, all 118 of them, were geared up and ready for action, their morale soaring high. In fact, the Kursk crew had been bestowed with the title of the best crew of the Northern Fleet. The submarine was considered indestructible, a sentiment echoed by all on board. What could go wrong? The Summer X exercise, the first of its scale, was the stage for the Kursk to showcase its prowess as a large vessel killer. Joining the exercise on August 10th, the submarine engaged in a massive shootout involving all vessels. The Kursk flexed its muscles by launching a Granite cruising missile while submerged, demonstrating its formidable capabilities. 2 days later, Captain Gennady Lyachin, the submarine commander, prepared the vessel for another exercise task, attacking the Pyotr Veliky battlecruiser. The mission involved using a dummy Type 65 Kit torpedo, known for its potency in sinking even aircraft carriers. At 8:51 a.m., Captain Lyachin sought and received permission from headquarters to initiate the exercise. The first of 2 dummy torpedoes was diligently prepared for launch as Kursk, with its periscope lifted, locked onto its designated target. By 11:29 a.m., the sailors at the torpedo compartment loaded the first torpedo into the number 4 tube on the starboard side. However, as anticipation mounted at the North Fleet HQ for confirmation of the successful hit, an unexpected silence ensued. Meanwhile, on board Pyotr Veliky, hydroacoustic meters, personnel detected an anomalous signal resembling an underwater explosion. Minutes later, the entire hull of the ship shuddered and a powerful signal was registered. Despite these signals, the Fleet HQ initially dismissed the reports as irrelevant. Throughout the planned 2-hour duration of the firing exercise, there was no cause for concern or inquiry into the status of the Kursk. No messages or reports were received from the submarine. It wasn't until 1330, when the scheduled exercise concluded, that Fleet Commander Admiral Vyacheslav Alexeyevich Popov aboard Pyotr Veliky dispatched a helicopter in an attempt to locate the Kursk, yielding no results. As an additional 45 minutes passed without the Kursk surfacing, suspicions began to grow. Communication checks scheduled for the subsequent hours went unanswered. At 1730, the fleet's search and rescue team received a standby order. Reconnaissance aircraft were deployed by the North Fleet commander to scour the area. Just before midnight, an emergency alert was declared, signaling an accident involving the nuclear submarine K-141 Kursk. The extensive search efforts continued throughout the night, and the exercise was abruptly halted. While locating a sunken submarine typically relies on emergency rescue buoys, Kursk presented an unusual challenge. The crucial buoy was conspicuously absent, failing to automatically activate and surface to indicate the vessel's location in distress. Miraculously, at 04:50 a.m. on August 13th, the echo sounder aboard Pyotr Veliky detected 2 seafloor anomalies. A rescue ship named Mikhail Rudnitsky swiftly arrived at the location, equipped with 2 deep submergence rescue vehicles known as DSRVs. Commencing the inspection of the seabed at Tenok, the quest for the Kursk unfolded. The breakthrough moment came at 1830, when one DSRV collided with an unidentified object and swiftly ascended. Propellers and the stern stabilizer of a submarine emerged before the eyes of the rescuers. There, lying on the seabed at a depth of 108 meters, was the Kursk. The vessel listed at a 25-degree angle, bows down 5 to 7 degrees, exhibiting severe damage from the bow to its sail. Thankfully, deep-water camera footage documented the extent of the devastation. Despite the grim outlook, with little chance of survivors given the scale of the damage, the 9th compartment remained the focal point for potential rescue. Over the next 6 days, Russian DSRVs battled harsh weather conditions, attempting to dock with the escape hatch. Unfortunately, each attempt was met with failure, as the damaged rescue hatch posed insurmountable challenges. Despite offers of assistance from several foreign countries, the Russian government declined external aid. At the same time, attempts were made to conceal the gravity of the situation. On August 13th, Northern Fleet Commander Admiral Vyacheslav Popov presented the exercise as a success, concealing the fact that the Kursk was missing. Rumors reached the families of the sailors, prompting them to gather at the Northern Fleet HQ, demanding answers. It wasn't until August 14th that Popov reluctantly admitted to minor technical difficulties and claimed contact with the trapped sailors. Amidst failed attempts to reach potential survivors, President Vladimir Putin on August 17th finally accepted foreign assistance. 2 days later, Norwegian and British ships, along with a rescue sub, arrived. Norwegian divers immediately commenced work, but Russian authorities initially denied them access to the escape hatch, fearing intelligence gathering. After strong protests, a compromise was reached. Norwegian divers could open the boat, but only Russian divers were allowed inside. On August 21st, 9 days after the sinking, Norwegian divers used a high-velocity water-cutting machine to cut holes in the submarine hull. Russian divers entered through the 8th compartment and, in the 9th, discovered the lifeless bodies of 23 sailors, the last survivors of the Kursk. A depressing message was found in the pocket of Captain Lieutenant Dmitry Kolesnikov, written in the final hours of their lives. Writing blindly at 13:15, Kolesnikov detailed the grim decision to move to Section 9 and the dwindling hope of survival. Their courageous words spoke of despair, a message etched in darkness as the sailors endured their final moments before succumbing to the lack of oxygen. In a tragic turn of events, a later investigation unveiled a startling revelation about the Kursk disaster. The crew accidentally ignited one of the oxygen regeneration canisters, causing the last remnants of life-sustaining oxygen to be consumed by fire. Despite Admiral Vyacheslav Popov asking for forgiveness from the families, they were still very angry. They were unhappy with how the Navy tried to save the people and wanted to know why their loved ones died. As things got more tense, the Russian government first said the Kursk sank because it crashed into a NATO submarine. But measurements on the ground and the U.S. Secretary of State said this wasn't true. They explained it couldn't happen. Later investigations revealed a scary fact. The Kursk sank because of its own torpedo. The Type 6576A kit torpedo, designed to attack and destroy large vessels, proved to be a fatal flaw. Fueled by hydrogen peroxide, an unstable oxidizer, the torpedo experienced spontaneous combustion due to a faulty weld. This triggered a chain reaction, leading to a catastrophic explosion that claimed the lives of the crew and sent the submarine to the seabed. The official government report in July 2002 clarified that negligence, incompetence, and mismanagement, coupled with technical malfunctions, were responsible for the tragedy. Shockingly, no charges were filed, and the prosecutor general blamed the accident solely on a technical malfunction of the torpedo. Despite the recovery of 12 bodies in 2000 and the subsequent raising of the Kursk in October 2001, families were left dealing with the profound loss of their loved ones. The legacy of the Kursk disaster will always be a dark chapter in Russia's history book. So do you think the outcome would have been any different if they'd asked for help sooner? Let us know in the comments down below. If you find these historical videos like this interesting, consider subscribing to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.